Well, signing day is the coach's new year. Chris, we're excited about the class. It's an extremely large class, the biggest we've signed here, as was expected going into the recruiting season. We had a large, talented senior class going out the door. I'd kind of expect 8 to 10 of these guys to play for us in some form or fashion next year. We had some 11th hour additions with Gerald Kemp, with Alex Shaw, and with Tremaine Johnson. So that really helped things come together. We've got some guys that are transfer students that have had to walk on with the hopes of earning a scholarship, but it's a really good looking group. We went heavily into the offensive line area. You might ask the question why. We have a big senior offensive line class coming back, but 2 years from now, these 5 kids are going to have to be contributors. So you want to try to work 2 years ahead so you aren't playing a bunch of freshmen. We took a bunch of linebackers with the hope that some of those guys, if not all of them, can contribute next year, because we did have 6 seniors go out the door for us last year. It's a good looking group. I'm excited about it. I think our coaching staff did an outstanding job. I'm really impressed with the recruiting ability of our assistant coaches. I think that one place that we've really improved as a staff in general is our recruiting ability. And the guys that have been here have gotten better at it. Adding Cedric Cormier and Pete Caligas has been a great boon for us as far as being in homes and a presence in different areas. They work hard at it, and our coaches deserve a couple of days off here because they've worked extremely hard. But I like this class. I'm thrilled that they're all Montana Grizzlies. I'll be really excited if they all make it here in August and we come in intact. We'll have a good-looking football team. We'll be a young team. I'm not sure where we'll be picked in the league rankings preseason. I'm certain that there are a lot of teams that will be picked ahead of us this year, but I like our football team. I like this class and what they can bring to the table next fall and in the future over the next 4 to 5 years. Let's take a look at these guys one by one. Thomas Bauer is a linebacker out of Niwot, Colorado. He went to Northern Colorado. Out of high school, he transferred to Saddleback Community College, where he had a great year. He's enrolled in class. You can see that he's a playmaker. He's a downhill guy. He's a physical specimen. He's a definite inside linebacker, and it's a position that we have a lot of availability for playing time, and that was really attractive to Thomas, and we're hoping he can be a contributor for us this coming season. Brandon Beecher is a cornerback out of Overland High School in Denver, Colorado. That school's familiar to Grizz fans because it's Tyler Joyce's high school. It's a good high school, so it's one of the large high schools in the Denver area, and Brandon's a real dynamic player, and we're looking to him to play corner for us. He's got a chance to contribute for us next season. He can run away from people. He's really a dynamic player with good speed and good field presence. You see the clips of him playing wide receiver, and that's the best chance to look at him run and run away from pretty talented players on the other side of the ball. Levi Buckles is a big receiver out of Post Falls, Idaho. His high school coach is a guy we're familiar with. I recruited his son, but Levi's a big old guy that can go up and get the ball. I think the the prevailing thing that you'll see in these highlights is his ability to go up and get the ball in traffic. That's something that we need in our offense. We need to be able to throw it up on the outside. For a big man, you can see he's got pretty good movement with the football. He runs hard, he gets his pads down, and he's a load. He's a guy that can play a lot of positions on the football field, but we like him as a wide receiver. In recruiting North Idaho, Spokane area, that's closer than a large part of Montana, so we try to treat North Idaho and Eastern Washington as an in-state area, and these are kind of hometown guys, just like the Montana guys are. Charles Burton, big offensive lineman out of Long Beach Millikan High School. He's a tremendous kid. His mother works at a grade school in the Long Beach area. They're great people, and we're glad to welcome them to the family. You can see Charles is a big man on the edge. He can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. He's tough to run around. He's long-armed, he's big-bodied, and you can see him go, and he can just flat bury people. And we're looking for big things out of him. I think he's going to be a truly great player. You can see him chasing the ball here. He is a big athlete, and it's an exciting thing to watch. It's fun to watch guys that are that big play that athletically. Next guy up is Geraghty from Colstrip, Montana. Another in the line of small school guys. This is Tough Harris's high school. He has a lot of records at Colstrip High School. Some of them were records that Tough Harris had that he broke. But Tyser's a 100-meter champion. He's a guy that we think can come in and play some wide receiver for us. He's got good speed, he runs away from people, and he's a guy that's going to come in here and work his tail off and find his way on the football field. He's a great track guy in the state of Montana. He's got breakaway speed at the level he's played at. We think that's going to carry over, and he can be a big play guy for us on both the offensive side of the ball and in the special teams. Cummings out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Mike's a guy that had a lot of opportunity to go to a lot of places. He chose Montana because he thought it was the best fit. It's a lot different from where he's from. But Mike's got tremendous speed. He's got an ability to do a lot of things, play a lot of positions. He was an all-state wide receiver in the 5A schools in the state of Arizona. We're going to play him at safety, and he's got great range. He's got a physical presence. He likes to tackle. He likes to go get the ball. He can do a lot of things. He'll have great range back there at the safety spot. He's going to find a home somewhere on the field, but he's a guy that knows how to play, plays hard, plays fast, and plays physical. He's a guy we targeted last May, and we're very pleased that he chose Montana. Geraghty Brucker, defensive end out of Choteau, Montana. He's the second of 3 small school guys from the state of Montana that we signed. Raymond does a great job. We're going to play him at defensive end. He's an outstanding high school wrestler. You can see him with great get-off coming off the ball. He plays well with his hands. He's got good leverage, which is typical of guys that are superior wrestlers. But you can see he can chase things down. He's got some nastiness about him when he gets there. He's the type of player you're going to look for at defensive end. And it's a playmaker's position. You're always looking for guys that can make big plays, and Ray can do that. Next player is Bo Donaldson, local product from Big Sky High School right here in Missoula. Bo's a good player. We're going to play him at running back. He's got the ability to play a bunch of different positions as well, but we like him as a running back. He's a downhill guy. He's physical. We're obviously enamored with the bigger back in our program, and Bo provides a load, and he packs a real punch coming through the backfield. And you can see him breaking tackles. You can see him finishing the end zone. He's got a good combination of size and speed, and that's what we're looking for in our backfield. Well, we've had a lot of luck with kids from Missoula, in particular Ty and Jace Palmer, but there have been numerous guys from the city of Missoula that are making plays. Tim Anderson from Loyola High School's on our football team, and we're excited about Bo being the next one in the line of guys that are being big contributors for the Grizz that are hometown guys. Andrew Douglas, a linebacker out of San Clemente High School. This is Cole Berquist's high school. Andrew is familiar with us because of Cole and the success Cole has had here. You can see Andrew looks good in his pads. He plays well with his hands. He gets to the ball. He plays extremely hard. He's a fired up guy. He plays with a lot of emotion, which we like in our linebackers, but he's also got the ability to run and cover the field. He's not just a guy with a big heart and a big motor. He's got those things, but he's also got the ability to run and hit, and we expect him to be the complete package as a linebacker for us. Kyle Finneman is the punter out of Havre, Montana. He's another sprinter. He's got a chance to win the Class A 100 and 200 meters in the state track meet this year. We're going to play Kyle as a punter. As many know, we like good athletes at our punter and kicker positions. He is that. He's got as good of catch and kick technique and motion as I've seen in a high school kid in a long time. He's a big, powerful guy. He's 6'2". He's a good athlete. He's a good basketball player. He can throw the ball. He can run it. We'll be able to do all our things that keep people off balance with our punting game if he's the guy back there, and we're really excited about him. We've had a lot of kids from Billings in our program over the past few years, and we're adding Sam Gratton from senior high. The other senior high player is Colin Dow, our center guard, who's an all-conference player the last couple of years. And Sam's dad played here. He has a great affinity for the program. He's wanted to be a Grizz for a long time. Sam's a guy that had a lot of attention recruiting. We're extremely pleased and proud of him for making the choice to come to Montana, and you know, it's a family tradition for him, and we think he's going to represent his high school, his family, and the Montana Grizzlies very well down the road here. Sam plays in an offense where they know how to throw the ball. He understands the throwing game. He understands adjusting and reading routes, and I think he's a smart guy, very intelligent kid in the classroom as well as on the field, and I think he'll figure our offense out and assimilate into the program real quickly. Geraghty's the third small school guy out of Montana. He plays 8-man football. He's from Fairview High School, right on the eastern border of Montana and east of Sydney. Greg is a guy who really wanted to come to Montana. We had him at summer camp last year. He showed to be one of the best players in our camp last summer, if not the best. And he's a guy we had our eye on from the very beginning. He committed to us early on in the process, and we're excited to have him. He's a big tight end. He can block, he can run, he can catch. He's a player who will follow in the footsteps of Steve Failer, Dan Bowden, Rob Overton. Now we have a good string of tight ends, and Greg's going to be the next in line in that group. Josh Harris, a young defensive end out of Flathead High School. Kalispell, played for Russell McCarville up there this year. He had a great year. We see him as a guy with a lot of explosion off the ball. He can run. He's got a great frame. He's another in the line of guys we've recruited over the past 5 or 6 years whose father played here. His dad, Greg, was a Grizzly in the 70s. And we're really excited about Josh's future. We think that he can be a huge contributor for us at defensive end. Eric Homek out of Bozeman High School. He's a big old good-looking defensive end. He's got a great frame. He's got a great motor. He's got nastiness about him. He plays really hard. He's a guy who right now is nowhere near the player he's going to be in the future. He's done a nice job. His coaches in high school have really brought him along, but he's got a tremendous upside. And when he grows into himself, gets some more time in the weight room, gets some more time on the practice field and working with our football team, the sky's the limit. And you can watch him get off the ball, and the best thing you can see in him is he's got great change of direction, and he plays extremely hard, and I think he's going to fit in really well with our football team because of his temperament and his motor. Big Matt Hulse, there he is, number 98. Matt's an interesting story in recruiting. I saw him in spring practice last May when I was down evaluating people in Phoenix. And Matt's a former basketball player that's only played 1 year of high school football. He's got tremendous physical skills. He's got tremendous physique. He's a guy that's obviously his best football's in front of him. He can do a lot of things. He can run, he can hit, and when he figures out the game of football and what it's going to take to be a Division I football player, he's got a big-time future and a big upside to him. He's an exciting recruit because of those things. His upside and the things that are going to happen for him in the future are limitless. Jared Hunt is a quarterback for the state champion Helena Capital Bruins. Jared's going to play safety for us. You can see him here. He's doing all kinds of different things, but we're going to play him at safety. He's a great hockey player. He's a guy that can do all kinds of things athletically, and you'll see that on these film clips, but he has got a big frame. He's going to be a big, good-looking safety. You can see him. He can run, throw, hit, punt. He does a little bit of everything, and that's the type of athletic skill you like back there in your secondary at your safety spot, because he's a guy that will be able to run the defense. He'll be able to get everybody lined up, make the corrections when things are not done right, and he's gonna be a player to watch here down the road. Tremaine Johnson is out of Stockton, California. He's a skilled athlete. He can play wide receiver, he can play cornerback, he can play kick and punt returner. He can do all kinds of different things. He's a great athlete. He's got unbelievable speed. He's got unbelievable athletic ability. He's a guy that can really come in and change a game. Something that we may not have had in the last couple of years is somebody who's, when they get the ball in their hands, they can light the field up, they can finish in the end zone, and Tremaine adds that. And I think that he, along with Jabin Zambrano, among others, can come in and contribute right now, because when they get the ball in their hands, they're a threat to go the distance in the end. Gerald Kemp's a quarterback out of North County in San Diego. He's a great basketball player as well as a high school quarterback. He's got the ability to beat you both with his feet and with his arm. He's a guy with tremendous speed, tremendous skill running the ball, who can spin the ball down the field. Now he can throw it, he's got a big arm, a lot of attributes that are going to make him a dual threat on offense, and you're going to see us have the ability to use him like we have Cole Berquist, like we have Jeff Larson, and some of the other guys over the past couple of years. He's a guy that, again, is a late addition to our recruiting class, and it's really a privilege. He and his grandfather came up from San Diego for a visit a couple weeks ago and loved the place, and I'm glad that we're able to make it work and get him into this recruiting class, because I think he's got a big future as a Montana Grizzly. Ryan Kessman's a California kid. He's from Hemet High School, where this film footage comes from. He went to BYU out of high school. He redshirted. He was there this football season and decided to leave and come and do something else. He's in school now with us. We're excited to have him. You can see by this film footage that he is a touchdown maker. And he's a wide receiver by trade, but he's really good with the football. You'll see him returning, you'll see him running back at times, you'll see him do all kinds of different things. He's extremely well put together. He's maybe a shade over 5'10". He's probably about 215 pounds right now. He's got the ability to go get the ball. He's a powerful, fast guy that really carries the ball well. And he's looking for an opportunity to show what he can do. He doesn't feel like he got that opportunity at BYU. And we're certainly hopeful that some of the things you're seeing on this highlight tape are things that show up on our game field next fall. another offensive lineman. We signed a big offensive line class. This is Kyle Komet out of Bonita Vista High School in Chula Vista, California, just out of essentially San Diego, the south end of town. Kyle's a road grader. He's a guy that's just flat strong and tough. He's an inside guy. He is not a tackle. He's a center and a guard, and he will go get after you. He comes off the ball. He plays with a lot of physicalness, a lot of nastiness. He's a guy that fights to the finish, and we really like his tenacity and his footwork when you see him on tape. This is Blake LeBeau, another offensive line. We signed 5 of those guys. Blake plays at James Logan High School in Union City. It's in the Bay Area. He really does a nice job. He's a big, good-looking guy. Not unlike Charles Burton, he could play any position. We're going to start him inside at the center and guard positions. He's really a fine-looking kid. He's a hard worker. He's a guy that does everything right, in school, out of school. He works nights for his father. He just is a guy that's really motivated. He's excited to be a Montana Grizzly and really has shown an affinity for the school, even though he's a guy from the Bay Area that doesn't have any ties to us. He's a guy that just loved the fact that he was going to be able to move to Missoula, Montana and play for the Montana Grizzlies. Matt Lipsky's a giant. He's an offensive tackle. He's 6'9". He's a high school basketball player. He was a guy that really kind of grew into his frame. He trimmed down after his junior season and really became more and more athletic. You can see him come off the ball. He fits his hands. He finishes blocks. He's a nasty player. He also is a guy who's a natural leader. He'll be great with our offensive line. He's got a lot of personality. He's a guy that'll be hugely popular with his teammates. And the best feature, though, is he will block out the sun. He's 6'9" and well over 300 pounds and can run and hit and do all the things we want our offensive tackles to do. And he's going to be a fun guy to watch and a fun guy to watch develop. Donnie Lasowski plays at O'Day High School. It's a school in downtown Seattle. It's a private school. He plays for Monty Kohler, who happens to be from Missoula, Montana. Donnie's another in a long line of really fine players from O'Day High School. But you're going to have fun watching this highlight tape because Donnie, all he does is make plays. He's good with the football. He's got the ability at safety to go up and get it. He likes to lay a lick on people. He will put the pads on you. He will go get it. He'll go get the ball. And what I really like about him is he knows what to do with the ball once he gets his hands on it. He can get it. He can finish in the end zone. He's got great burst. He's got track speed. He runs. He's a talented track athlete in the Seattle area. And we look for him to play and make a bunch of big plays for the Grizz in the future. You see him with the ball. You can see him at quarterback. You see him as a returner. A lot of these kids you see as returners, both punt and kickoff returners, and we like to see them with the ball. It gives us a chance to evaluate them. It gives us a chance to evaluate their skill and their athletic ability. And they're good players. Their teams are putting the ball in their hands. Mike McCord's a cornerback out of Maryvale High School. It's a city school in Phoenix, Arizona. Mike's a good-looking kid. He's got great burst. He's got the ability to tackle. He likes to chase the ball. He likes to put the pads on guys. He played high school quarterback. And again, you put your best player on the field and give him the ball, and that's what Maryvale did with Mike. And you can see him going and getting after people. There's good tackling, but he's really impressive with his footwork and his athletic ability with the ball. He can go get it. And we're showing a lot of defensive highlights, but he's a guy that really showed up on the offensive side of the ball, and you can see him run the option and put his foot in the ground and go to the house and outrun some really gifted, talented speed athletes in the city of Phoenix. Caleb McSurdy out of Boise, Idaho. He went to Bora High School. The place where we see him on tape mostly is at the tight end position. We're going to play him at linebacker. He's a big physical guy. He's an inside linebacker that runs and hits, and you can see his speed and his athletic ability on these highlight clips as he's catching the ball and turning it upfield. He's a guy that's got a chance to come in with our linebacker depth, what it is. All of these linebacker players will have a chance to contribute, and Caleb's a guy that can get out and run, and that's the first order of business in linebacker and football today, is to be able to run and catch up to those running backs and play some pass coverage. And then the other end of the spectrum, it's the ability to blitz and get downhill in the line of scrimmage. Dan Moore is a big back out of Tucson, Arizona. Marana Mountain View High School. It's in the north end of Tucson. Danny's a big fella. He's got good speed. He is the epitome of downhill running. He gets the ball, he sees well, and then he gets his pad square the line of scrimmage and runs. And you can see he's got terrific speed for a big, powerful kid. He's got the ability to run away from people, but his preference is to run over and through them. He breaks a lot of tackles. He is flat, a good-looking guy. He enjoys the weight room. He enjoys playing football. He enjoys the physical nature of it. It's fun to watch him run the ball. I talked about the big back. Dan fits that bill. He's a big old guy with good speed. He's no fun to tackle, and you can see with this recruiting list in the state of Arizona, we took 4 kids out of the state of Arizona. It was really good to us this year, and we think these guys are going to be great players for us. Big John Operud out of Milwaukee, Oregon. It's just across the river from the city of Portland. John's a 6'7" guy that's going to play tackle. Tremendous guy, man of his word. He committed to us early on, told a bunch of people no. We really think he's got a huge upside, tremendous future. He's a good basketball player. He's fluid in his movement. The big thing that we saw about John on the videotape is he's never on the ground. When you're watching offensive line tape, you just never see him on the ground, and he's always playing hard and finishing guys. You just see the footwork and the athletic ability being superior. From Class A school, Billings Central. The State A champions from this past year, and Brooks is a guy that plays hard. We're going to play him at linebacker. He can really run. He can play our outside linebacker spot. He goes and gets it. He's a good tackler. He's a physical player. He's really not physically matured yet. He's going to be a big physical guy. His father was a great player at the University of Wyoming. We feel very fortunate to have Brooks choose Montana, and he's a guy that when he grows into his frame, he can run around, and he's going to be a force on the defensive side of the football for us. Jabin Zambrano out of Temecula, California, Great Oaks High School. It's south of Riverside, between North County, San Diego, and Riverside, California. Jabin's a guy that can really get out and go. He's got a lot of personality and he's got a lot of speed on the football field. He's a terrific kid, comes from a wonderful family, and we're really excited about his playmaking ability. He can beat you both by going up and getting it or catching the ball on the short route, making people miss and go to the end zone. He's really got a lot of juice, he's got a lot of speed, he's got movement with the ball, he's got a lot of burst, and he's just a real dynamic athlete. And we're excited about him being able to come in here and make an immediate impact on our football team. The next player is Russell Shy out of Billings West High School. We recruited Russ as a kicker. He's a guy that's got a real nice stroke. He hits the ball. He's been to some kicking camps and it shows. He's got a good leg. He's only going to get stronger. And again, as I mentioned with Kyle Finneman, Russ, he's an all-state athlete at different positions. DB, kicker, punter. He can do all kinds of things on the football field, and that's what we like out of our specialists. We don't want guys that all they can do is kick it or punt it. And he can get into the ball. He's got a tremendous upside. He's got a chance to come in and compete immediately to be our kicker next year. Obviously, we've got big shoes to fill, and the career leader in FCS football and points scored with Dan Carpenter, but that's the same situation that Dan Carpenter was in 4 years ago, replacing Chris Snyder, and we're excited about Russell and his chance to come in and do that. Alex Shaw is a linebacker out of Spokane, Washington. Alex was a linebacker who was ranked very highly on our recruiting board. He's a guy that we had our eye on all through the recruiting process. He's an 11th hour addition to our recruiting class. He's a guy that took a while to take his decision, and we're really excited that we've been able to fit him into the recruiting class. He's a guy that I think has a real chance to be an impact player here. He's a great student, he's a great athlete, and we're just excited that he made his decision to come here. He's a big physical guy. He played tailback for his football team, and I think he's going to be a tremendous linebacker for us. Josh Stuberg out of Helena High. Josh is a versatile athlete. He's a basketball player. He does everything. He played both ways at Helena High for Tony Arnson, but we're going to play Josh at linebacker. He's got a good frame. We had him in our camp last summer. We really liked his motor and his temperament. He's a physical player. He likes the physical part of the game. He tackles well. He goes and gets it. And then again, you can see him. He's another guy with the ball in his hands. It shows the kind of athletic ability that he has. And when we evaluate, we're looking for people that have athletic ability and can make plays. Linebackers are not excluded from the want to have athletic ability. And Josh certainly is that, and I think his athleticism will show up on the field here soon. Cody Von Ops from Kalaheo High School in Kailua, Hawaii, just outside of Honolulu, on the island of Oahu. He's a guy that showed up in our camp last summer. We think that he's going to grow up a little bit more. He's got a chance to be a really good football player. All he does is make plays. He does a really nice job. He had to play quarterback for his football team. He was everything on his football team. He was the whole team. He made all the plays. Their team had not been to the playoffs in 20 years. He led them to the playoffs this year in a really tough league in Hawaii, and he's just a tough-minded, hard-nosed football player that can run around, and he understands the game and he understands what it takes to win, and he reminds me a lot of what Colt Anderson did in high school over in Butte. Well, that's a look at our 2008 recruiting class. Let's hope that this class has as much success as the class that they replaced. 5 championships for those guys that were fifth-year seniors last year. The winningest program over the last 3 years in Big Sky Conference history. Gosh, I just hope that these guys can enjoy the same amount of success that that group did. We'll see you out on the spring practice field.